You see this pencil? Bah! We are back. 4 rules on car negotiation. I'm a salesman. I'm going to teach you how to get the best price on any car. Let's get right into the video. Leads us to rule number 1. The first rule, read that good, guys. Read this good. You need to back up the price you're offering. You need to come with knowledge in your brain on the car you're trying to purchase. You need to know where you're getting that price from. Let's just say you're looking at a Dodge Caravan that's priced at $25K and you want to negotiate to $20K. The first thing the dealership will ask you is, where did you get that price from? Where did you get that price from? And you need to have a very educated, good answer to answer them with. Because if you just say, no one's going to take you very serious. You have to say, well, I found one at this place listed at this price. Oh, well, this website said this is the average price of this car, blah, 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 blah. You need to be a little bit more on the educated side when you're coming up with your negotiations and your offer on certain cars. Don't just wing it and just say, I want 10K off this car, I want 5K off this car, without actually having some knowledge. Because personally, that's a big pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand that when people just make up prices because they think that's what the car is worth. No. There's an average cost to everything that is in retail. And then when it comes down to cars, it's even a bigger purchase. So you need to know, scratch that. You need to be educated on where your offer is coming from, right? It's just as simple as that. It's a simple Google search, seeing what these cars are listed price-wise around your area, and coming up with a reasonable, educated offer. That brings us to rule number 2, which might seem a little bit obvious for people that have been around the block, that have negotiated before, that have bought a lot of cars before, but not so obvious to other people. So that's why I'm putting in this video in rule number 2. Start low. Start low, baby. When you negotiate on anything, whether it's jewelry or cars or Pokemon cards, whatever the case may be, you always want to start low, and then the person starts high and you meet somewhere in the middle. That's just negotiations 101. And starting low kind of ties in with rule number 1, because I just want to be transparent about this. Don't start too low. You know, if you have a price in mind, maybe go a couple thousand below that, or even a couple hundred. You know what I mean? Just start a little bit on the lower side, and you know, you're going to work your way to a middle ground. This is just negotiations 101. If you didn't know that, well, now you know. Start low. You know, the dealership or whoever's going to start high, you meet in the middle. I mean, this is just how it goes, guys. So I won't talk too much on rule number 2. Like I said, it's a pretty obvious one. It's a pretty, you know, yeah, rule number 2. Now, rule number 3 is a very important rule. It's a rule that if everybody followed this rule, I think the world would be a better place. Before I show it, let me just give you a little bit of context on rule number 3. I think I touched on this briefly in a different video, but I just really need to reiterate how important this rule is for one, negotiating, for getting the best price, for getting the car that you want, for just having a good relationship with the dealership. But without further ado, let me show you rule number 3. Buy today. Be ready to buy today. If you're actually seriously going deep in negotiations. I understand someone left a comment and said, well, how do you expect me to buy today and also shop around? That's not really what I'm talking about. You could shop around and kind of, you know, go to this dealership, go to that dealership. But when you're actually ready to get the, you know, the price you want and start chipping away at, you know, that price, you need to be ready to leave in the car. You have to have that checkbook ready, because if you're not going to get the discount you're hoping for. And then what's going to end up happening is when you are ready, you're going to give your business to a different dealership, which isn't really fair. I see this all the dang time. Be ready to buy when you're actually ready to negotiate big time negotiations. I'm talking when you have a number in mind. If the dealership gets to that number, you leave with the car. You don't leave and think about it. You leave with the car. So that's rule number 3. Buy today. Are you ready to buy today? And the answer better be yes. Guys, we're roughly 4.5 minutes into this video, and if you made it to this point in the video, drop me a quick like. I really want to hit 1,000 likes. That would make my day. Subscribe to the channel, because I'll be posting a lot of content like this, a lot of knowledge I'm giving out to the people. So please, please, please subscribe. I would really quite appreciate it. And just leave a comment. I want to hear some questions, some feedback, some different perspectives. Just throw something in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And if you have nothing to say, just put whatever in there, because it helps the algorithm. Yeah, really appreciate it. So rule number 4, guys, know your trade-in. Know your trade-in. What I mean by this is that you should know what your car is worth. You actually need to know what your car is worth. For one, this will help you from getting ripped off. This will maximize the amount you'll get for your trade. And this will just put you and the dealership in a little bit of a more understandable negotiation, because I see it all the time. People come to the dealership and they assume what their car is worth, which can either hurt them in a way where the dealership kind of, gives them a number that's under what the car is worth and they're happy with it because they didn't know, or you could just never agree on numbers because what you think your car is worth is far beyond what it's actually worth, which is a very frustrating situation. I'm sure you guys can agree with that. It's very simple. You have Kelley Blue Book. You put your VIN number in there. It gives you an average what your car is worth. You put, don't ever put excellent condition, because I can guarantee your car is not in excellent condition. It's going to mess up the numbers. Put decent or poor, or one of those two. Just the bottom two. Use one of those, because I guarantee your car is not in excellent condition. I'm sorry to break the news, okay? I'm sorry to be the bad guy, but your car is not in excellent condition. And just shop around, see what your car is worth, right? You have to have an understanding what your car is worth realistically, a realistic number. So when the numbers come back and you see, X amount for your trade, you could be like, oh, that's pretty much on par of what this car is worth in the market. Or if it's under that, you have to say, hey, I want this amount more for my trade. Listen, you just have to do that. You have to know what your car is worth, guys. You have to know what your car is worth. This is probably the biggest thing you can do to put more money in your pocket. Just like that, those are my 4 rules on negotiating on a car. This is surely going to save you some big money. Give me some video ideas in the comments. Let's go!